Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Federal Marines Are Lost. Now, some of you may be getting this reference, and we're back in Metroid and the Metroid series, which after the shenanigans of the last one, you might be thinking, Sleuth, you must be mad. Well, here is the deal. If I can solve this particular puzzle in a reasonable amount of time, I'm going to post it, and we're going to laugh at sort of whatever shenanigans we got up to last time. If I don't solve it in a reasonable amount of time, well, this video is not going to see the light of day. Well, I may post it, but not list it, and just send it to B.PEN, who's the constructor of these series, and just show him that I'm constantly struggling with these puzzles. Now, the full title is called Federation Marines Are Lost. I just kind of had to restrict it a little bit to try and fit it on the screen. And the way I'm kind of imagining this scene is that it's some kind of futuristic scene. There are even aliens and whatnot. Sleuth is very clearly on the defense. Looks more like, The Last of Us than it does Metroid series. But, he's on the run. I guess he's got probably some kind of weapon to protect himself from these invading aliens. Usually, very strange creatures from the Metroid series. This particular one, I'm actually going to double check this before I kind of misstate. He's definitely got a reference to some kind of creature, and I can't quite understand it. It's in the lore, they are attacked and killed by an alien life form called Genesis. So I think when you actually take a look at the puzzle itself, you will recognize the creature. It definitely matches very much the picture that B.PEN sent across. But once again, as I mentioned many times on this series, the owning company are very litigious, so I'm not making too many references in the thumbnail. Anyhow, enough of an introduction. Fingers crossed we can actually solve this in a reasonable amount of time, and you guys get to see it and enjoy it. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets with Federation Marines Are Lost by B.PEN. Now, I'm feeling a bit more hopeful. I notice there's a consistency in that I tend to struggle with all slow thermal puzzles, for one reason or another. German Whispers, though, I think I've got this down. I say that, but, we'll see. Rules-wise, and you can see sort of this is the reference to the Genesis kind of creature that's trying to go after the Federation Marines. Rules-wise, normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Nothing unusual here. Along the acidic Genesis skin, digits must be at least 5 apart. So they are German Whispers, but I guess the green color makes sense with the acidic nature of the creature. So if this cell here is a 2, the neighboring digits have to be 5 or more away, so that would be 7, 8, or 9. Now imagine that this is actually a 7. Well, the next one along would have to be from 1 and 2, so that is 5 or more away. Notice the pattern, of course. Highs 6, 7, 8, 9. Lows 1, 2, 3, 4, repeated, oscillating between the two constantly. No 5s in any of the numbers that I've just listed. Ho, 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 ho. I just noticed the other rule that's probably going to make this a bit harder. Digits separated by ninth move cannot be the same. So, what does that mean? Well, it means this can't be a 2. Because essentially, anything that is a chess knight... So, obviously, normal Sudoku means none of these could be a 2, none of these could be a 2, none of these in the same box could be a 2. But in addition to these, anything that's a chess knight's move away, which, as you know, is 2 steps forward, 1 step to the side, that regular L shape, or the other one, or another one here, or another one there, or another one there, etc. So none of these cells would be able to be a 2 because they are either Sudoku or chess knight's move away. Now, last but not least, before we get onto some lore, digits separated by an X sum to 10, and digits separated by a V sum to 5. All of the X's and V's are given. I love these types of puzzles. So, that starts with the X. These two cells have to add up to 10. Given that's supposedly a 7, that would have to be a 3 to make sure that they do add up to 10. Have I got an X and V somewhere? I've got V's. If this cell is a 2, this would have to be a 3 to make sure that these two cells add up to 5. all X's and V's are given. So this is right up my alley now. It does mean that, for example, I can't accidentally put a 4 in here, because that would add up to 5, and there is no V between them. Can't put an 8 in here. They would add up to 10, and there is no X between them. So I think this is probably going to be a bit of a treat. It's 10 minutes before you guys get to see the shenanigans I got up to with the previous one. So it's probably too short for me to be able to solve this, post it, and kind of rescue what I've uploaded. But if this goes as well as I hope, maybe I will post it for tomorrow morning. Anyhow, enough said with all of that. If you feel like fighting this acidic Genesis creature that's taken down some Federation Marines, I'm sure you guys are going to be up for it. Link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right. The beauty of these X's and V's is that I know that this is low, then this is high, this is low, then this is high. And this is all going to be helpful because I am going to do a bunch of polarity coloring. V's always have to be low digits because essentially the only way you can have two cells that add up to 5 is 1 and 4, 2 and 3. Clearly both of them are low digits. Only way to do a 10 is 1 low and 1 high. Essentially 1 and, let me do this way, 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, and of course 4 and 6. So a low digit with a partner high digit, no 5s again. So 5s are actually quite restricted in this puzzle. So this is high. That gives me polarity on this line. That means that these are low. Also means that this is high because of the X, that these two digits clearly have to be the same because if that's 2, that's 8, then it has to be back to 2 to make sure that these two cells add up to 10 as well. So that's low. These are low as we oscillate on the German whisper lines. These are highs. I'm loving this so far, and I'm happy that this is certainly much easier to start this time around. And look at that, we can keep going. I'm wondering if the fact that this is, what am I trying to say? I am wondering if because this is talking about all X's and V's are given, should I do what I normally do, which is color the blues differently? So I may well do that. You can see two lows here, another low. 10s we've already established has to be low and high. So essentially something as along these lines. But essentially I now have 4 lows in row 7. So this has to be high, this has to be low. Yeah, I am tempted. I'm going to say these are blue, therefore these are green. This has to be green because essentially these two cells are the same. Not blue. And because these are green, these are indeed blue. Let me think about this. Can I do better? Before I kind of forget which ones I don't know, I am going to do this where I'm going to mix and match the ones I don't know if they're blue and green, just so I don't lose track of it. Clearly this is going to be not green, it's going to be blue, and it can't be blue in here. It would have to be blue there, and therefore this is red. We've got 2 blues in here, so this is going to have to be red and green. We have what is going on here? Oh, hang on, sorry. For a second, it's just I was thinking, you know, I have the full suite of lows up there, so I can't put any of them in here, but that's just so obviously not true. So I've got 4 of these lows. So this is the high digit. This is the low digit. Much better. Now that I've got my head screwed on right. We can actually put a single digit in the grid now. 3 minutes in, such a vast improvement compared to the previous puzzle. That's a 5, because you can see lows, low, low, high, high, high. Where's the 5? This is the only one that's left. Right, am I going to be able to do anything with this absolute mess that I've created in here? Let me think about this. Am I going to use letters? There's so many X's and V's, I am tempted. Because you know, some of these are very obviously the same. And these two I'm noticing, so there is more than like a handful of examples here. Yeah, I'm doing it. Right, can I put this up on the screen? Let me just double check. What is this going to show? Well, I mean, this is not going to show anything apparently. Let me just actually select the right window. Is it this one? Yeah, there you go. Right, you guys have seen me do this a few times before. Essentially, the idea is that because we're trying to, not trying, we know that to get to 5, it's 1 or 4 or 2 or 3. So essentially, if this is 1, 4, this would be 2, 3, hence the different colors. But what I also know is that if it's one of these is 1, and next to it is an X, it would have to be 9. So you can essentially use letters as a proxy to try and essentially make some deductions about what things are. So as a way of doing this, essentially A and D, kind of like the idea is that they're 1 and 4, means that this is B or C. I'm just going to pick at random that this is B, this is C, this is B. And we're going to take it from here. We're going to see what we can do with this. And this is useful. Why? It's a good question. I'm wondering if I've just picked the wrong ones to color, and maybe I was better off doing something in box 5. I may actually do that. Picking where you color is actually quite useful, so I am going to do that for a second. I'm going to pick these as green, sorry, as blue, these as green, and therefore these have to be blue. This has to be green. I've got blue in here. This has to be green, because essentially we've got 3 lows. This is another low, so this is green for sure. Yes, this is not green. Let me explain that. So essentially, imagine that green for a second is 2 and 3. So if that's 2, 3, and this is another 2, 3, either they add up to 5, or, and there's no V obviously, so that doesn't work, or it's the same number and it breaks Sudoku. So that can't be green anymore because this is green. And therefore that's 2 blues. That has to be now green. This has to be blue as well. These being blue means that this is green. Excellent. These blues, I really should have, means that these are greens, not blues. What am I doing? I should have cleared up the colors a bit before I went down this route, but it is what it is. So hopefully the remaining ones are indeed ones where I don't know what they are, which is all of these cells. So one of them is blue, one of them is green. One of these is blue, one of these is green. These two are the same, and these two are the same. So they're consistently the same color. What does that mean? Does that allow me to do anything? I mean, we know that there's a 5 in here, and therefore there's a 5 in there. We've done all of the blues and greens in here. So this is not low. This is essentially red and 5. I need a second blue, which can only be in here, and then a green in there. Otherwise, again, they would have added up to 5 if they were indeed neighbors. Not sure I can do much with this one. Yes, I can. Low, low, low. That's 4 lows. That's got to be high. Therefore, this is the green cell. Therefore, this is not the green cell. This is red. These two are now green. That means that can't be green, because otherwise, again, it will add up to 5. So that is blue. And therefore, that can't be blue. And therefore, this, because it's the same digit, has to be green. And therefore, these two are green. Sorry, blue. And that's blues and greens colored now. Excellent. So yeah, changing which ones you decide to color first is actually quite helpful sometimes. I'm going to do this next. That's A, that's D. Maybe again. I'm going to pick these A and D, and therefore D, and therefore A, and therefore D, A, D. This has to be D. These two are the same. Come on, Sleuth, remember, they add up to 10. Right, this is the second bit, is as long as you're consistent in how you're using this algebraic substitutions, it doesn't matter what these letters are. It's just the way that I do it is essentially think of the E as the 5, and I always do A and I to essentially add up to 10. And therefore that's A, and therefore that's D. And I think... Oh, hang on, I don't actually know which one this is. Could be D and F. Could be A and I. So I will pencil mark it as such. D, F, A, I. And let's do B's and C's next. Which one am I going to pick? Let me do these two. Box 5 seems to have a bit of pressure. So these are the same because this is, remember, across it is G. This can't be C anymore, clearly. Sudoku prevents it. That's C, that's G again. Don't know what this is. I do know that this is B, and therefore this is C. This is another G. These are, hang on, that's F, that's F. This, not sure actually. So this is adding up to 10 in here, so that is another I. So this is BC. For one reason or another, I can't seem to determine what they are at this point. That's a C. Therefore, this is another G. This is again BC. And this is G or H. But that's about as far as I can take it, it seems. This is, hang on, another F. This can't be G or H. I mean, we knew there's another one in the column, so we actually know what this is. This is I. This is F. This is 5 and H, which can't be next to a B. So this is where the letters become helpful. If I put H in here, then these two cells will add up to 10. So that has to be the 5. This is the H. That's the red. That's another neutral gray. Can't be GH. So the way to think about this, if this is C, this will be G, this will be B. If I put GH in here, it would be H, and it would therefore add up to 10, and that would break. So that's the 5. This is the other G and H. This is an F. This is red. And we have, whilst not many digits, we've only got 3 5s, I think we're in for a much easier time compared to the previous puzzle. Right, what else do we know? I've totally ignored, like ridiculously ignored, the anti-knight move. So we're going to use that in a second, but H can't be here next to the B, so that's H, that's G. H can't be there with a knight move, so that's G, that's H. Therefore that has to be B to add up to 10, that's C, B and C. These two, no, they're not known. I know that this is not I, not G. So this is F or H, I'm going to say. This is again not G. I mean, G is in here, so I should stop thinking about that. And there, and there. But it seems to me like it could be anything else. It can't be F next to the D, so maybe not quite anything else. This is not I, F, or H. Sudoku, an anti-knight move. This is another G. We've got tons of these. No G, no G, no G, just Sudoku so far. G is one of these two cells. One of these two cells. So we're left with, in essence, like a G X-wing, and I think we've got all of the rest. Okay, so this is not H, not G. it's F or I, both of which seem feasible. Not F, that's a knight move away, that's I. So we need a B in here somewhere. No knight moves to help. C is none of these cells. With this cell, not here because of knight move, that's C. Let's see if we can do a bit better. Yep, that's another C. And I think that's all of them. Feels like 9. Oh, wrong color. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's 9. B's then. Maybe less interesting. Let's see. None of these, none of these. One of these two can't be next to C, so that's B. That's green as well. None of these are B's, and yep, none of these, that's B, that's green. I think we can just about put it off, can't we? No. Another X-wing of B's. A's, we don't have too many of them. Can I eliminate anything in here? I mean, yeah. I in the column means that's D and F. So that's easy enough. That means that this is H. I still need an A in here somewhere. It's one of these two. No, it's not that one. So that's A. A is in one of these two. It's not this cell. That's A as well. And we're very nearly done with A's, aren't we? One of these two can't be this one because of knight move. So that's A. And the last one is just here. No, I meant here, excuse me. And that's all the A's done. D's. One of these two can't be next to A because there's no V. That's D. Yeah, D, G. And G is done. So these are red, that's blue. Is that all the D's done? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yep. So B's is really the only thing that's left from the low letters. This is E and I. Can't have I next to A. That's I. That's E. This is, there's an I in here. It's not there. That's I. That's H. This is another H, I'm going to say. B and E. Have I got anything that's helping me here? Yeah. 5s are E's. That's the only exception. And therefore that can't be a 5. That's a 5. That's a B. That's a B. So that's all the low letters done now. Probably a lot of the 5s will be done very soon. So we can, I'm just straight in writing in the 5s since we did it with this cell. That's not 5, that is 5. That's the 5, just Sudoku, eliminating all the other cells. These are all high? No. Must be. Lows. And 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's all right, just lost my trail of thought there for a second for some reason. That is a 4th high. No 5s in any of these. That's a 5. That's a 5. That's all the 5s done. I think, is that 9 of them? Yeah. High, high, high. That's everything colored at least. We can probably do some Sudoku quickly. H and I, that can't be H. That's I. That's, hello. I and H and F and H and I and F and H, F and I, yep, F and I. So all of them have letters now. Brilliant. So what is interesting in here? I'll show you something. So remember, A's, so 4 on German Whisper, would always have a neighbor of 9, which would mean that any letter that has 2 different letters as neighbors cannot be 4, also cannot be 6. We can use it the other way around. Now, A and D, you can see both of them have different letters as neighbors. So these are 2 and 3. Now, from B and C, let's just have a look at it. C, as you can see, also has 2 different neighbors. So B is 4, C is 1, G is 9, H, yeah, is 6. And that's one part of it done. Let's see if we can keep this going. I should just focus on the neighbors. Let's think. So one of these is going to be the lower of A and D. One of them is 2, one of them is 3. Now A has I, F as neighbors. I again. Hang on. We've placed the 9. So this is another 2 letters that are different from 9. So essentially it's going to be like 6, 7, or 8. And it can't be. I mean, these are 7 and 8. And because there is a 7 in here, that means this has to be a 2. And therefore this is the 8. And the D is the 3. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's the 7. Fantastic puzzle. Way up my alley compared to the previous one. Like, I'm really half tempted to actually post this one right now, given I imagine that you guys are having a whale of a time with the other one. So I am going to do that and find something else to record for Sunday morning. Anyhow, hope that's this is a fantastic puzzle. So I hope this is like almost like an apology for the extremely difficult puzzle that I posted earlier, and that you get to enjoy this one. Bye-bye for now.